Hi everyone, I'm Ghost Masala and welcome back to another prediction video. Last video I did Colombia versus England went very well. It's my most viewed video by a mile, so hello to anyone who's new to the channel having watched that video. Of course, if you want to subscribe you can. I'm not going to force you or anything, but that'd be great. And also please leave a suggestion for which other games I should do predictions to. Of course I was going to do England now, but I don't know what to do after this, so if you like, do you want to see Uruguay France sort of prediction or any of the games like that, please leave a comment. I read all the comments, and if you post a comment saying to do a prediction, I almost certainly will do a prediction of that particular game. And of course I'm very pleased with the England win. So far, I honestly, when I was making that the England versus Colombia prediction video, I honestly was thinking in my head England are gonna lose, but they didn't, and there we go. So that's brilliant. And yeah, this video, if you've watched that video, then this video is very similar to that in terms of the fact that I'm pairing players against the players who they'll play against in the actual game. So so it's going to be a similar format. I had to tweak it slightly because Sweden play a slightly different formation, so maybe it's not going to be exactly accurate to the actual game, but I've tried to make it as accurate as possible. And of course, I'm really hoping that England win. Of course, I don't think they will. I think they will go out to Sweden, but that's not my prediction. I just don't believe that England have the mental courage to go through, but I will tell you my prediction at the end. It's not that. Wish I hadn't said that now. But let's just get on to the actual prediction of the thing, and not my personal prediction, but I don't know. Anyway, so we have, first of all, the goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford versus Robin Olsen. And these two goalkeepers, they've not had too much to do in the tournament so far. I've watched a couple of Sweden's games. I watched Sweden versus South Korea and Sweden versus Germany, and honestly, neither goalkeeper seems too bad. They've both made really good saves, but they've also both made mistakes for goals that they've conceded, but not terrible mistakes. So Olsen probably should have saved Kroos's free kick that he took in Germany versus Sweden, and Pickford probably should have saved Januzaj's shot. So it's very close between these two. However, I have gone for Pickford just for the fact that he is going to have so much more confidence from saving those penalties, and I do think he has had more to do than Robin Olsen in the tournament, and therefore that will give him more confidence. So I have gone for Pickford in this case, but either goalkeeper could have a better match. And next up we have the right backs versus the left backs. We have Trippier versus Augustinsson, and this one's close. Augustinsson is definitely a great left back, but unfortunately this is really no contest because Trippier has been the best fullback in the competition by miles. Sorry to any Swedish fans, or any fullback fans in general, but he has, and for me Trippier is definitely going to have the better of Augustinsson on that side. However, Trippier did not control Mojica as well as I thought he was going to in England versus Colombia, so that could be a factor. However, I am still going to go with Kieran Trippier. However, Harry Kane versus Andreas Granqvist, I think that's his name. I might have just got that completely wrong, so I might have cut that out. So Harry Kane versus Granqvist. And Granqvist has had a phenomenal tournament so far. I believe he scored 2 penalties, which is amazing, and Kane has also scored penalties, so that could be really crucial in the penalty shootout. He's just been so confident. Now this is a similar situation to the Mina and Sanchez in Colombia's team. So if we get Kane to go up against Lindelof, then Kane will beat Lindelof. And if we get Sterling to go up against Granqvist, then Sterling will be able to beat Granqvist. However, I believe Granqvist is going to have sole responsibility for Kane. Sweden know how to deal with attackers like that, so I believe this one is actually going to be a draw because of that fact. In fact, no, scratch that, I'm giving it to Granqvist. Sorry Kane, but I believe Granqvist will just completely close him down in this match, and I don't think we'll get any penalties off him at all. So yeah, sorry Kane, but I believe Granqvist is going to win. And it's a similar story for the other centre back versus forward position as well. Victor Lindelof versus Raheem Sterling, and of course Lindelof is going to beat Sterling. Lindelof is on form, and Sterling, he's been more of a link-up player. I don't think Sterling will be able to get past him and beat him Sweden look very solid defensively, and I believe Lindelof will win in that position. And it's a bit bad run for England at the moment. We have Ashley Young versus Lustig, and for me, Young hasn't been too impressive, and Lustig has. He looks very threatening from the right back position, where most of Sweden's attacks come from, with Lustig and Klassen later as well. So the right side for Sweden is very good, and I believe that's where the threats will come from. England's right side is weaker, so for me, Lustig is going to get the better of Young on this occasion, because Young will be defending and Lustig will be able to run at him more. And next up we have Jesse Lingard versus Svensson. Svensson was recently drafted in for I believe Larson, and he hasn't impressed too much, and Lingard has. So for me, Lingard will keep Svensson busy in the defensive midfield position, and Lingard will be able to take him on and win. So I'm going for Lingard in this position. Next up, it's a Dele Alli versus Klassen or Claesson, or I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. My Sweden knowledge is not too good. I know a bit about the football team, but not about how to pronounce stuff. And I think this will definitely be an interesting one. Ali plays on the more left and Klassen plays on the right, which is why I've paired these two together. And Klassen has been very good, and for me, Ali should be dropped for England, but I don't think he will be. So clearly this is going to be a win for Klassen. As I said before, most of Sweden's attacks have come from the right, and Klassen has been a main part of that. I just don't think Ali will be able to deal with him if Sweden do use Klassen to their full potential. And next up we have the final midfield battle, Jordan Henderson versus Albin Ekdal of Hamburg. And for me, this is going to be very close, and this battle could decide the game, who wins this, because both defences are better than the forwards they're coming up against. Spoilers. The midfield battle could decide who wins this game, and for me, Jordan Henderson is better than Albin Ekdal, just because Henderson brings a bit more attacking. Of course, we've seen Ekdal with his wild shots. Ekdal's a great player, but his shooting has been recently terrible. Like, he should have scored in those 2 games. And Henderson can hit a ball, and for me, that's all that is in this battle. So I'm very sorry, but I do have to say Jordan Henderson does win this one. But it's going to be so close, and if Ekdal does get the better of Henderson, then Sweden could well go on to win it. And we have Kyle Walker versus Emil Forsberg, and this one's easy. Forsberg will beat Walker all day, and I would just really hope that the other defenders can limit Forsberg as much as possible, especially as he in the early games he didn't seem to do much, but now he's on form. It's just Forsberg is so good at playmaking and assisting, and he can beat Walker easily. And once he's beaten Walker, he can cross it into the box to Granqvist, to Toivonen, to Berg, to any of those players, to Lindelof, or anyone who comes on off the bench. So for me, this could be if Sweden score a goal, it will be because of Forsberg or because of the right midfield, and hopefully Trippier can drop back and help deal with Forsberg, but I believe Forsberg can beat Trippier too. Forsberg, if you haven't heard of Emil Forsberg, he is a seriously good player. If he would easily get into the England team, like we're talking, like he'd get in over basically anyone. I'd say only Kane is really better than Forsberg, to be honest, in terms of a player. But next up we have John Stones versus Ola Toivonen, and Sweden have been lacking in attack. That's the one position their teamwork is exemplary, but they really do lack in attack and just that creating chances and scoring them. But Toivonen has scored, but for me, John Stones is going to be able to deal with him. So going to go for John Stones on this occasion. Of course, if Toivonen gets good service, then he could get through. But Stones has been playing phenomenally recently, so I'm going to go with Stones. And it's the same story with the next battle as well. Harry Maguire versus Berg. Not sure what his first name is. but Berg has been disappointing. I'm pretty sure everyone who's watched Sweden knows that Berg has been disappointing, and if Berg plays, then Maguire will be able to deal with him. If Berg doesn't play, I'm not too sure about the options that Sweden have on the bench, but Berg has not been great. I believe that Sweden should play a different striker to Berg. If they do play a different striker to Berg, then maybe they'll be able to win, but Maguire has this. And if you've been working along with this as when you've been watching the video, you'll know that it's currently England have one better player according to my predictions than Sweden do. So I think that England are going to sneak a win, possibly from a lucky deflection for me. But Sweden have been so solid, like they're one of those teams who are greater than some of their players. So it's very hard to decide. Doing the player thing does not really justify how good Sweden are. They almost have an extra player. They almost have an extra player with them, with a team that works. They all work so hard. And for me, if Granqvist has a good game, then Sweden win. If Granqvist is not able to deal with Kane, and you saw yesterday how everyone kept fouling Kane. If Granqvist is not able to deal with Kane, then England win. And so it depends how well Granqvist is playing. He fluctuates really. He can have good games and he can have bad games. And also, if Sterling is able to get past Granqvist and actually be clinical, then England will win, because Granqvist is a great defender, but he's quite slow. So what's my overall prediction? Let's finally get onto that. My overall prediction is going to be 1-0 to England in extra time. Sorry, Swedish fans, but I honestly, in my head, I can see you winning easily. As I said earlier, I don't think England. I just have. If you're an England fan, you'll know this feeling where you just don't believe in England to win, and I have that feeling now. But on paper, I see England winning 1-0 after extra time. However, in reality, if England are England again, like Euro 2016 England, Sweden will easily win. I promise you that. So that's probably what I've put at the end. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe if you like this video and the previous one, and make sure to leave a comment on what you would like to see next, which prediction you'd like to see.